I told you this right before we went live. I can't hear a single thing you're saying. I don't even see your microphone bouncing. I think you've been muted this whole time. I think this has all been a setup to get me to talk. Just so you know, this is what I think is going on because you are completely muted. I don't hear you clap. I don't hear a fucking thing. Not one thing. I've got nothing. The audio went from being at uh, hearing my echo and being told the microphone is dead to turning off the microphone of the headset and having absolutely no audio coming out of the phone. The volume was off. Meanwhile, the conspiracy theories abound as to what the fuck is actually going on. Hello, Internet. Mr. BPG here. Taking over the broadcast. Dropping in some lower thirds. Uh, you know, just doing the things that I do. How you? Wanted to go live. Wanted to share what we've been up to, I guess. Again, it doesn't matter what you say. I don't hear a single thing that's coming to me. There's nothing there. You might as well just take over the show and drop me out at this point because I don't like the way this is going. I mean, we are 5 minutes in, and I'm just sitting here like a zombie staring at them. At least I'm not one of those fucking liars over there. Let's see. So, since you're full screen, I'm just going to sit here muted. I'm actually going to go online and watch the show that we're watching. I want to see how silly this looks from the other angle. Alt tab my life back to here. There we go. Where are we live to? Who wants a rumble? Go to rumble. See what rumble has to say. Definitely don't Hello, peekaboo. I am on stage, it says. Call this the stage. By the way, what do you think? Oh, wrong direction. What do you think of this piece of art right here, huh? The fucking capitalist pig at the end of Animal Farm. This was done by my one of the guys who did all this artwork on me. Well, there's still more to go. He did that one, and shout out to him there for that, because that one was pretty awesome. Bye. With the broadcast here, like I was totally logged in on one end. Now I'm not. Now I'm logged out. I can't stream our stream. I had the next lyric music video loaded up and ready to go, but she kicked me out of the stream by jumping on the keyboard here. Close this one out. You can't stand on the keyboard right now. I'm working on it. I told you. I literally made you a spot to stand in. Cat has all the spots. And Sebastian is away from the desk. So, narrating over this, if there is anyone watching, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't care. I believe in a dead internet theory, so I just automatically assume that there's literally nobody watching. But we have been working towards renovating and reshaping the studio over here, trying to reverse the direction of the desk that has been facing one way all this time, trying to give it a different view. So Seven Talents as a group, what we've been doing for years is both working from homes, but also being able to pick up and remotely work from anywhere. Pop in, give us a call, we get there. So on this end, I'm still just working on my background because in between the busy summer, I didn't get much time to vlog and record. I'm still working on the Church of Cinema type stuff I've been doing, where we do movie reviews. I've recorded a session for Up. I've recorded a session for Spike Lee joint called Bamboozled, which everyone should go out and watch. I've been having a really good time. Essentially, rewatching some of these, what I feel are classics and underappreciated movies, and trying to draw a little bit more attention to them. especially some of the ones that didn't quite make back their budget, since great art is not always appreciated in its time, it is not always understood, and sometimes it's a little ahead of its time. Right now, my interpretation of Up is basically rethinking the way the movie is presented, rather than a sprinkling of Disney magic, which allowed for other than a sprinkling of Disney magic, which allowed for this fantastical adventure that happens in Up with the Balloon. It really does feel more like what would happen when an elderly dementia patient would dissociate with the world. And the only one he can connect with is this small kid. And together they create this fantasy, even though his reality is probably him learning how to live at the retirement home. The thing is through Disney magic, we never actually see the reality and the pain going through there of having to leave his house, say goodbye to his life, move on with his end into a retirement home. We see him literally disassociate and only be able to share this life with his kids. So he retains a certain normalcy because this kid Russell is able to find him, save him, and keep his imagination alive. Where's my... So, got 3 out of 4 black screens live, and there's Bastion back. So hopefully I can stop filling with audio that I don't know is even going to the broadcast. I honestly don't know. I'm just talking, narrating. Like I said, I loaded up, if you wanted to, the latest piece that I put on Rumble, but it then kicked me out. Now I don't have it loaded up. I think it was the cat's fault because she jumped on the keyboard and typed in 10,000 commands at once. Yeah, you. I was talking about the studio change. I don't know if you want to take over on that and describe what you got going on with that studio change over there. Oh, I got a ping. Oh, great, I got a voice message. How am I going to listen to a voice message while I'm in a voice message? Let's see if it's a total perspective one. Classic. Alright. 17 minutes live. Not bad. Pure chaos. That is just absolute chaos. Like Dr. Doom level chaos. Dr. Doom level chaos. There's my face. Yeah. I don't know where I'm going with that. What else though? We talked about some of the self-made media that I like to do here when I'm on my time. Kind of just been busy walking. You know what I do today is 4-mile walk around. That's fun. I didn't make all the shots. I think I'm starting to hear you just a little bit. Somebody's talking. Where's that microphone?
Check. What the fuck happened?
I don't know if any of what I said made
Why
it
is
to
it
the
black?
stream, but I can't.
Oh, because the hand
What?
fell. Thank you.
What?
All right. Shouldn't be using that word while I'm in the middle of knowing it could possibly be live. But I have no concerns at
Yeah,
this
we're
point.
live. We are live. Watch together. Oh,
This mic one should be on. There. I should have audio right there. So
back on
what I need
stage.
to do is put that now. As the only thing I hear. Okay, so that's me. So this is like a PIA. That's the computer. But what I want to hear
Do we already have AI running? Like, is it doing auto switches and bringing me up, or is that you bringing me up? Or do you have me in your headphone and you still can't hear me? Or am I still not on the mic? I don't know. It says I'm on the mic. That
is
is
this
live.
only.
So many buttons to hit. Off stage feed. Yeah, dark mode, full screen, local recording. If the local recording is going on, of course, that's beautiful. Are we gonna have to ADR this whole thing? I'm gonna have to remember what I did, what I said. Oh, I'm back. It says they counted an internet connection.
It shows a regular signal right there. There's, yeah. This is me talking into both microphones, and this is me talking into one. That's how directional that is. That's actually pretty good. What the hell? Check 1, 2, so it should be getting out there. Should be getting mix C. See, I don't even hear the background music right now. And I know you're talking. Because we go back to this and say I want to hear the computer too. I'll hear you. Well, on this, I should hear these two microphones. Now, I'm hearing the pre-fader level in for all intents and purposes at this point. But on mix C, those should be up. And then they're up. Okay. So they're going into the A10. I can see the levels on the A10 coming into the A10. But I'm not hearing the A10. I'm not hearing the A10 here for some reason. I don't know why. Why am I not hearing the A10? Can I tab in? Well, shoot. Check 1, 2. This could get hit. You can see it. I can see it in mic 1. Is it not coming in here? Correct. 3. Oh, there it is. There it is. It's really low. It's low. I would like to hear it better, so now I gotta figure that part out. So guys, I may have figured the audio out. I'm not sure. Give me a thumbs up if you hear me, Brian. Thumbs down. I can see you backstage. No? Can't hear me? Check. Okay, well, I see mic 1 bouncing, which is good. Mic 1 is bouncing. Mic 1 and mic 2, honestly. I can turn that down and get much more specific than I'm only setting this mic right now. Which this last one, mix C, should be the final that I am sending back. Mix B, I should still hear the computer. I can hear the computer. And I can control this. This is literally only for me. Which is soft. And I can bring it up, 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 up. Yeah, I should be hearing only. It's actually maybe too loud at this point. Check 1, 2, 3. Check 1, 2, 3. Checking 1, 2, 3. You can hear me? You can. So you can hear me now. Holy shit. Well, you and I are going to have to watch it again just to see, I think. I'll have to. Well, I don't think I've had any of the... Nah, that's all right. That's a wash at this point. But you hear me fine. Well, what's... You hear me now? Oh, because that's main only. Okay, so the really goofy thing about this, why would that matter? I think I need a new mixer. I think the Zoom 8 is the wrong mixer for me at this stage. Not that I feel like my wife would ever approve anymore. I'm going to have to figure it out with this. There's no way around it. But I think I've outgrown this mixer. I don't like that the master fade, the red fader, does not have, like, it literally should be on the other side of the pad, because you feel that I should feel like I can take that down, which I did, and that's when that you lost me there, right? So this controls master out. So you're still receiving audio from the master. No, I'm literally suffering from audio entropy, like Inception level audio problems. And I'm trying to mitigate that by putting all the responsibility for the audio mix finally on the Blackmagic only. So I'm trying to set so that I'm monitoring only only the ATEM. Okay. Oh, it's goofy. My head's actually breaking right now trying to. This is always where it comes down to, man. I'm not doing like a sound card on a computer. None. I really was gonna phone it in. Speaking of which, are you done with the song? I'm fucking done with the song. Let's kill the song. Wow. No, I had it on. I'm listening to the music. Yeah, no. Are you still doing only the phone?
It's mainly just there for
Yeah, so we've got multiple
basic
things.
file transfers across different state lines.
Right.
So,
Right. So what I'm doing now?
in fact,
then,
I think it just dropped me.
No, I'm
Yeah.
hearing you.
No. I just dropped this machine. I didn't want to have it on for the mood lighting.
I almost want to stay until we perfect. I don't care if I'm here 7 hours.
I mean, you could be here 7 hours.
No, I know.
I signed up for here.
But at least, no, totally not. As a matter of fact, we're
Sign up.
probably past your timing.
You know how it'd be here. I got sleeping dogs. Let sleeping dogs lie. They
Well,
decide to bark at me.
This is really, I think, what we have to do.
Okay.
And we kind of just made it this one because we're here now.
Yeah.
But we're going to have to do like a troubleshooting, like let's just start a live stream that does everything that we want to do.
Okay.
Because there's no way to troubleshoot the live audio issues without being live. and here's the thing. I don't want to get to where I just... I think a lot of people do this. They will get to where they just rest on the fact that it works without actually being able to replicate or document or tell you why it works. You know, a lot of people get to the point where it works and they go, okay, hands off, no one touch anything. Right? And how many live shows have we done like where we finally got it working like an hour before the show? Mm-hmm. We don't ever tell anybody about that shit, right? Mm-hmm. And you're just like, no one touch a thing until the stream is over.
That's right. And yeah, what today showed was just how many redundancies we built in to the system. Where you take away one, I go
it's
to
not
two.
that.
You take away two, I go to
I've
three.
got to get my signal path nailed down. I'm not sure if this is the right mixer for the job. And even if it's not, however I end up getting to work, I have to be able to say why it'll work. I think that's the key. Okay. Never. And so tip for everyone, this is the only clippable moment of the entire thing so far, is when you find yourself with a system that works, I would tell you, you don't have a system that works unless you can build it from scratch back up and you know how it works. You never just should be resting on lucky. Right? Like, because otherwise, when something breaks, how do you even troubleshoot what part in the chain broke? If you're just like, I made it, I'm balancing, and Mom, look at me, no hands for a while, and then something goes wrong. Now, how do you even successfully diagnose a problem? Right? I mean, that's a video engineer's nightmare. Like, we know it's working, but we have no idea why it broke when it broke. It's just, that's never good enough. That is the earmark of an amateur. And so,
well, I mean, it's also giving up control to web-based solutions. What software is a solution rather than a hardware?
I don't even know if
streaming from a hardware, we would be in the same place possibly. We'd take more time to line up these shots.
Right. And most people with home studios figure their stuff out and they let it roll. Oh, I got a comment, so maybe they can even hear us.
I think they can now.
Yeah.
Like I said,
John's like, if it breaks, just uninstall and start over again, he says.
That's kind of what it did. I mean, we had good audio when we were in pre-show,
and you're saying, "Oh, I don't feel well."
Yeah, I was literally just opening up my iPad.
You just kept saying your microphone sounds like shit. I'm like, okay, well, I can hear you.
Well, I was just making out commentary about yours. I knew mine wasn't working, but what I was giving myself is a false positive, because I'm listening to a mix minus of like, and I'm like, am I listening to the show though? And I had to go through that entropy of what am I listening to? I know right now I'm listening to a mix of the headphone jack from the ATEM, and I have to have a mix from, I think, USB 3, which is the same as system audio. But at the same time, I think EV Mux is still taking both of those inputs separately. So I don't know if I'm listening to what is stream or what is pre-stream or what is post. You know what I mean? Like signal path.
I do, because right now I'm doing the same thing. I have my mic hardwired in. It was working fine through Bluetooth, but then once we went live, I switched to hardwire.
I'm actually bummed that if this doesn't get recorded, I don't have this conversation.
Yeah, as far as I can tell, or at least this computer I'm on is muted. Yeah.
I don't know what I'm listening to. I'm stuck in the Matrix. Oh, please don't fuck with me, John. Tell me if we're nope. I'm pulling up the iPad right now just to see what the sound is.
Go for it. I got kicked like the old Alex Jones CIA days when they were fighting with him.
That was
my favorite Alex Jones moment, when I got to be in this situation with him, and they just kept pulling the plug and plugging it back in. And
people would freak out if they knew our connections back to that history.
Oh my God. Or just what they're capable of doing, and how most people just don't see that part. They just like, oh, the internet's in and out all of a sudden. What the hell's happening? And it's just like, yeah, Alex, you're saying shit you're not supposed to say. And they really don't want you to keep going. So they're doing everything they can to make sure.
Yeah, you know the government fucks with IP.
Capital G is overpowering lowercase g. And I like to
well, look at this.
Lowercase g.
Guest is a little low, but not horrible. That's your microphone. Everything sounds great. Thank you, John.
Yeah. Well,
I still want to hear it for myself.
Here
so
now,
I got to hear it
here. So I bet if I were to switch or actually have a microphone array installed, it might be easier.
All right. I just know now what I'm hearing in my headset is what I'm hearing on the broadcast. Okay. That's a hard thing to figure out.
Well, not when you have an intern who's just sitting there watching the broadcast and goes, "Hey, looks good."
John, you're an intern.
Good job. Thank you, John, the intern.
John's now an intern, according to Brian.
Hey, that's
fantastic.
Like, yeah, it's that old school shit. I still can't believe what the internet used to be versus what it is now, and I shed a tear.
Hey, you got to admit, this is a better format for us than us going through an entire set of, and now here's the news. But
yes.
But you know, the real struggle. Although I expect, like I said,
first world struggle.
Yeah, first world struggle. But the real struggle in this is getting this set up right the first time.
Well, yeah.
Right. Like I don't like the shadow. I don't like the shadow when I move my hand, so I move that light up. Here, I'll just show you what I just did here, because I can.
Okay.
So I have this little light over here, and it was down here. I don't even like it in the scene there.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. Here, let me go full screen so people can see it. So I have this light over here.
Yep.
And it's glaring up into the bird's eye view, which I like this scene. If I move it up here, now it's not glaring the screen. And when it was down here, every time I moved my hand up here to do anything I'd get this face shadow. You don't need that shit.
Sure.
These are the things you figure out, then you forget that you figured it all out when you're an established show.
Well, unless you're like me and you're just playing with your lights today. I started off with full studio lighting and switched to my mood lighting for movie cinema.
I'm doing everything.
Cinema again.
I'm doing everything. I mean, literally, what we did here.
Yeah, for those of you watching at home, we just basically played Yahtzee with the studio, and we rolled a bunch of sixes, and now we're trying to.
Is that what happened?
Measure to work. I mean, isn't Yahtzee the game where you take all the components, shake them, and throw them into a...
No, this is very well thought out.
This is not Yahtzee. It's one of those block puzzles where you have to just move one
Tetris.
space.
It's the little puzzle game.
It's that little block puzzle, yeah.
Well, definitely in execution, it was the puzzle game because we don't have enough cash in our computer. We don't have enough free space to move things around.
Yeah.
Well, I'm living in a packed house. We've got more shit than we should have, and we have to get rid of like half of it.
Blessings.
But yeah, they are blessings. Thank you, Brian. Thank you. But sometimes blessings have to get donated.
I did it again, y'all motherfuckers.
What happened?
I swear they're just messing with me now. I feel like the Alex Jones. I just keep getting kicked in and out.
Oh no, you were never out.
Mm.
I was just laughing about how I said I have to donate my blessings because we have too many, but we've been too blessed.
Yes.
Is that fair?
Yes.
We're so blessed that we can't pay our mortgage.
Well,
temporarily. It's temporary.
It's temporary, but that goes back to the other game of Monopoly, where in reality it's played on the back of the common folk. And
Clean your room, Sebastian.
Players have one hand in your wallet.
You don't know how true that is, John. I actually do have to clean my kids' room. They don't know how to get rid of their clothes either. So sweet. I'm moving them.
They're supposed to grow out of them.
The rooms or the house.
Both. And
one of them is actually
they're
chomping at the bit to leave.
Well, yeah, they should.
It doesn't matter. See, Allison always wanted to have more kids, and I think now she's finally conceded that we're no longer doing hand-me-downs. It's all come to a head, man. It's like, oh fuck, we're not having any more kids. So yeah, this is the Bare Your Soul episode of Seven Talents.
The fact that she still wants more, I get it.
Oh man, she would have 20 if God would let her. She really would.
Yeah.
She's Amish, you know. She's trying to become an honorary Amish person. You know, the honorary doctorate system.
Sure.
She wants the Amish to hold a ceremony and says, "We've seen all the things that you've done, and we'd like to bequeath upon you this certificate of honorary Amishhood." And she will have thought all of life has been worth it then.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see that. I get it.
I think she wants me to raise barns.
I'm down to raise barns. I'm sick of this media shit. I can't wait to get back to being more Amish.
You can't start a business with me sick with this media shit.
Well, I mean, I say that, but in reality, you know where my heart is.
You're sick of not getting paid for doing the things you do very well.
No. Worse. I'm sick of being taken advantage of. Wisconsin. I mean, I spend my summer.
Let's not turn this into like legal evidence, even though I talked about my kids.
Yeah. All I mean is that I'm tired of the disrespect.
Yeah.
There's
a lot of people who just think this stuff is easy.
Maybe. There are people who grew up with it and had to,
I think that's
part of their life.
That's literally the problem with StreamYard babies.
Okay.
I think StreamYard. I'm starting. I hate to say it. I kind of see StreamYard as the enemy. StreamYard makes it available for anyone to make a podcast, for anyone to make content. At least if you're an OBS streamer, you had to learn something.
True.
Fair?
Yes, you can't just launch OBS and then it goes live. It is pretty user-friendly.
And it's made it so user-friendly that people think video production is easy.
Sure.
That's the problem.
Well,
and I'm not saying it's a problem. There's some people who can do it, and StreamYard is beneath them as far as technical know-how. And Jen's one of them, right? She can master StreamYard. StreamYard is not a problem for her.
Sure.
I don't think this platform would be a problem for her. But there are people that like StreamYard is like, if it throws any more at me than what StreamYard offers me, I can't do it. And that's where people that can make great content but aren't production people need us. That is literally the argument for us.
Well,
I'm not saying that they shouldn't be making content. I'm saying they shouldn't be producing it.
I get that, but I always think back to what was great about the industry early on was there was a diversity of jobs available. You weren't expected to manage your own studio. You had a specialist there.
You weren't expected to be like your own accountant, but then QuickBooks came out.
Exactly. And so these software as a service are great for people who want to be able to focus on just that one thing at a time.
Right.
I think back to the actor directors of the world and think they just must be absolutely crazy to try to pull that off. Because I mean, hell, as a director, it's hard enough not to get distracted by every single thing that's
Yeah,
going
the
on.
person
You're trying
on
to keep
both
focused.
sides of the camera is
Yeah.
the hardest working person in the world.
Yeah, so to be able to just, all right, I'm here to talk. Here's my mind. Here's what I have my script. Here's the quality of my voice. Whatever you're trying to sell that for.
Right. Right.
Where when we're in a situation where I think budgets demand everybody do everything themselves, and only we still have the TV tier quality. Then we have the TV tier on the internet, which are the next level. And using this or us, as you said, as a software as a service
Right. Right.
allows to fill
See,
in that gap for people who just
John,
want to
John,
put their face and name out there.
I want to interrupt, read John's comment here and explain
Yeah,
why I
okay.
brought it up. John's comment here is, that being said, I haven't even scratched the surface of OBS yet and still hate it. He's one of these people, exactly what I'm talking about. John is hold on.
Okay.
John is our ideal customer if you want a use case. When you talk about the intern, because this is a guy.
John, the intern, he's already promoted to talent. Way to go, John! You did it.
Hey, you're the one who
You
said it
made it.
earlier. You said it earlier. You said it was John the intern. But and we'll get you a badge next week. Okay, you can clock in.
Love
But
it.
well, fuck! I lost my train of thought. Oh no, he's
I'm
the
sorry,
ideal
so-
customer because this is someone I believe has immense talent in personality, in what he says, how he carries, how he talks about himself. I think he belongs in front of camera. You and I come across people all day long and like, man, that person should be in front of camera, right? Isn't that kind of like one of the, if you're in our industry, like, man, you got a great voice, or you got a face for radio, right? And John thinks he's one of those who has a great voice and not a great face. No, you are entertaining. No one gives a fuck. You don't have to be pretty. That's a lie from Hollywood. What happened that every single musician had to look like $1 million fucking dollars, or had to look like someone you would sleep with? That's sex sells only. I mean,
But that's
right?
pop music, and that's the ruling class using
Yeah,
the media
exactly.
for
But you
control.
notice
Buy
when it
this,
was
look
about
this,
talent, before corporations got a hold of it, when it was about talent, you didn't have to also look good. Show me your abilities. How many ugly singers are there in the world before 1980?
Rolling Stones, the Beatles, the Eagles.
Do you know what I'm saying?
There's a long list of
Lizzo is the anomaly, and look at her working her ass off just so she could keep her fucking job. That's bullshit. I'm glad she's doing it. I hope she's doing it for her and not for everybody on the other side of her cell phone. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
Oh, there you go. In the 70s, everyone was ugly and popular.
yeah,
Right?
disco was a thing. I mean, I wasn't around then, but it seemed
Bono
like a really wild
happened.
time.
Dude, I should just invite
Well, I mean, everything
John in on the
begins
back
with
end.
Michael Jackson. I mean,
Hey,
Michael
John, if-
Jackson is the ADBC of music. So I think when Michael Jackson went solo and created that greater pop star, I think every major music label wanted to copy and make that.
Post Malone is also in the ugly
He was
category.
good in Bullet Train, though, wasn't he?
Hey,
Or was
by
it
the way,
someone
I'm
else?
bringing John in. John has been working with me in the background for the past couple of months. I'm sending him a guest link. So I'll be sending that over to your Twitter, John.
I already dropped.
He says, I can't join,
so
sadly. I'm at my wife's work. Oh, he's truly only a text participant. That's
okay.
all right.
He'll be talent one day. One day.
Oh,
he'll be
no,
right
he
up
is.
the
He is
camera.
the talent. He's the kind of guy you want to have this conversation and this brain, this thought experiment. You know, this.
That's good because hopefully he gets a laugh out of me saying that because I was out
Oh,
getting a hard drive the other day for my photography, and the Best Buy guy says one day when you're a professional, you'll. I'm just
Right.
rolled my eyes and laugh.
Well, and you'll love Sophomore John's taste in music and everything.
Okay.
He's the last DJ. That's his new moniker. He says he snuck away to hang out for a little bit. And I just got in trouble with my wife. All right, go to your event. We'll be here. Thank you for letting us know the audio is working.
Oh, yeah,
That's
I'm glad it's
fantastic,
working.
John.
It only took what A few minutes, we got
But
it.
I want to hang out so bad. Well, we will do this again. Like, we are just, what works for Seven Talents will end up trickling down and benefiting everything else we produce. This is just my personal setup that we haven't gotten all the tweaks figured out on. So let's get in
We got
there.
a calendar. Just book it in the calendar. We'll get you. We'll push you live.
Well, and so let me talk about that for a second. So when I built this studio, I did it during COVID on a lark. I not that it didn't matter to me, but I had to ask myself, I got this. Here's the real story. You ready? Here's the dirt. Here's the dirt on Seven Talents. I had a friend of mine say, "Oh, why is the wash on? I don't like that. Alexa, turn off wash 4." Thank you. So the thing that pisses me off about this is that it got started with some government funds. There you go, all you conspiracy theorists. I got the COVID check for not being really. I couldn't get anyone in live streaming. Honestly, I didn't feel bad applying for that. Do you want to get your COVID money if you've been out of work? Right? How many businesses benefited? Did you hear about that, Brian? That whole, if you're a business owner.
When I was working through COVID, I was picking up the dirty Kleenexes, the used gloves, the used mask that people would throw on the ground.
Yeah, this business is a product of me trying to do something creative with those funds. I'm like, I'm not going to spend it on fucking groceries.
Yeah.
I'm going to take this money that the government that was mine originally.
Yes.
That they're going to give back to me.
They're giving back to you.
They're going to let me have some of my money back because they did
you
convenience the world with a virus that they released.
To allow you to be able to own the means of capital.
Right.
To produce content to say, hey, GOV, take it.
Yeah. So anyway, took those funds. And you can go back into my blog history. Okay. And I used those funds to buy all this gear and build out my studio because I had been doing that for 15 years prior for everybody else, 15, 20 years.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we're still producing our own things here and there whenever we can.
Right. So I built my own home studio during COVID, but I built it as an experiment to figure out if I could, because I'm still thinking big. Okay, I'm thinking if I could get a studio, if I actually had a studio with multiple sound stages and we were producing things the way that we normally do, how would I do that with today's tech? Not needing to like kiss anyone's ass on what hardware I use. What's the most efficient way to pull all this off, right? And when I say efficient, I actually want to make video. I think back in the beginning, I was looking at, it's on my blog. We could pull it up. I could pull it up right now. We might as well pull it up since we're going to talk about the history.
I don't know. I'm only half.
Well, but I'm just saying, I literally have B-roll. I know you're like, don't turn this into a 4-hour stream, but we will have to revisit the story. Okay.
Well, the idea being is that
we need to tell the story. All right, let me put a pin in this whole thing. We will tell that story with B-roll in its entirety of how we went from COVID to this.
Yeah.
But for the short story version is I built this short man's version. All right, midgets, listen up. I had built it so that I had my control station and I had a set, and they didn't fit. Like this thing cut off. There was a wall here that I was just sitting on the other side of. Right. Let me put this full screen so you can kind of see this. I'd used this. This was the space I was allotted in my experiment. And I had this desk set so that I was separate in a separate space from the set. This was the studio. This was the set. And thankfully, due to Brian, I am now sitting in the middle of my own studio and set at the same time. Is that a better explanation of how we have accomplished? It was a long transition since COVID to now. The past 4 years were like, okay, the right model is where you have this studio, the studio in front of you and the set behind you. That's the individual content creator out there. And I was still thinking on a pro range. I was not thinking like a streamer, right?
Well, correct. Because what did you say during COVID? What did it home.
Sorry.
They were doing it.
Say that again. Yeah, I don't know why you dropped saying.
During COVID, they stopped going places and were mostly working from home. So you're producing a space that is multi-purpose, multi-use, where people can come in and be a part of that studio,
Mm-hmm.
host their own shows with different colored backgrounds, with a over-the-shoulder, built in, literally a public service news set, essentially, with a second stage which you can use for your table talk reads. Where you're like, I'm going to read from this book and we're going to talk. Then, as you were realizing, is like, hey, everybody's just streaming from home, and you found ways to take what was already created there, make it mobile for us and other people, but then also to that next level of, well, if you want to just produce from home, you now can from that desk.
This is me just evolving with
evolving
with the industry, and I think the industry has redefined itself in the past 4 years. Like Zoom changed the world. I hate to say it, but everyone going to school on Zoom. Like Zoom literally was nobody before COVID. COVID built Zoom. EV Mux, their story is a COVID story. Did you know that?
Everyone's got a COVID story.
No, the fact that they would never have built this company if there wasn't COVID.
Henry Ford would have never built the car. No, I'm just kidding. I saw something about him where he said if Henry Ford had done what people asked for, he would have just made faster horses.
I wonder if I could get Iran into this. I was going to say Elad, and I cut myself off mid name. There's Elad and Iran from EV Mux. I wonder if he's up right now and wants to join us and talk about how COVID made him. And if you need to dip, man, I don't know what your time frame was. This is obviously, well, we're an hour in and just starting to like, oh God, there's history to talk about. But either way, if he's not even available tonight, we should invite him to talk about when we talk about our histories, our company histories. We have a very similar company history. COVID made EV Mux. COVID really made what Seven Talents is becoming right now. You know what I mean? It launched me into live streaming. It pushed me into that industry from a professional industry into all the people I knew as professionals. I guess I haven't really acknowledged this, have I? I work with professionals in television. And I was out of their friends group, the one that they were asking, do you want to go further into streaming? And when the world was pushing for streaming, I started getting more calls. But I was only a consultant. You know?
Sure.
As a consultant, I built the OB truck for Delac. I'm not an employee. I'm not an owner. I'm not a partner. I've floated it. He doesn't want that. But I realize now that all of these experiences, we were shaped out of that. We are the type of people who see the challenges that life throws at you and says, well, we are not going to be victims. We will build out of this. And to see other people, other industry professionals, Nathan Delac is no small potato. He is an expert videographer, editor, Emmy Award winning. I'm working for him, and I'm watching videos of people building OB trucks because I'm thinking, man, I'd love to figure out how to start building one for myself. And then he buys one and says, will you build one for me? The answer is yes, obviously. I mean,
and
you're going to pay me. You're going to pay me to build something I wish I could build for myself? Yes, I'll do that.
And now I love the country. We have a ton of footage of that box in use.
Well, and a lot of Seven Talents behind the scenes. We're going to be posting very soon. You get a bunch of editing to do. We have about a year or 2 years worth of vlogs that we've shot but not edited and posted. This is where they get posted. That is our history. You know? And by the way, Brian, you will be shooting behind the scenes for the next graduation too.
Cool.
Every single major thing we do, as long as Nate allows it, you are 7 talents documented. You're not. Do you know what I mean? You're not on the Delac team. You're on the 7 talents team. That's what I was telling you on the last time I had you shoot. So I've had Brian.
I was wearing this polo.
Yeah. I said you don't work for Delac. Wear your 7 talents polo. Show up on scene. You're shooting behind the scenes for 7 talents. We're the consultant that runs your fucking trailer. Sorry, that runs your trailer. You know, and I love the partnership that we've built, and I think he's excited about the direction we're going to be going as well. So, we will always be working together. But this has been a very slow climb into our own identity, I think. And I'm really, really proud that we're doing this under Tim Alaska's namesake. You know?
Yeah.
So I couldn't describe to him what we were doing today. I mean, he wasn't around long enough for us to actually. He'd be thrilled with the direction it was going, and he would be 100% on board. But when I was just like using 7 talents as I do this and I do that and I do all these 20 different things. Like this is our company coming into its own.
It's fun to see it. I hear a lot of the. You know me. I'm always stuck over here some days, just trying to.
This is real, man. This is real life.
Of it every
No, this is real life. It's a lot easier to cope with if it's a conspiracy, but this is the real world, and it's better than you imagine, Brian.
Good.
And man, this is just the beginning. Oh, announcement. I don't know how I'm going to pay for it yet. I'm not opening up a donation box. I mean, if you want to send me money, you can DM me. But for our next business idea, our first software launch, which will be called MuxPilot, that I've mentioned before, I'm going to take it to the Shark Tank in Orlando in 2 weeks.
Cool.
There's going to be a parallel economy summit that's happening in Orlando on October 10th and 11th. I believe I'm going to take Chad, because Chad's our investments guy. You know, if I can get him down there, and I'm going to go down and present. If you want to go, I can figure it out. If we end up driving, and then I'll see if I can get you another ticket. I can get you. There's a couple. I think it's either $200 or $100. I got Chad in on a military. I think there's military education. There's a bunch of discounts that they're offering, and maybe we can get an extra discount or something to get an extra ticket if you wanted to go to that event. But I don't know what you're doing on the 10th or 11th.
Probably have to look back at our archive, but the last thing I said was I will ever be seen in Florida.
Oh shit!
Unless I'm caught dead there.
Why? What happened in Florida?
Do you need me to go there?
No, next time, different show, offline phone call. Well, darn. But
no,
anyway,
I just mean you can go on the internet and just type in Florida and then the first 2 pages of Google will probably scar you for the rest of your life. You never want to hang out in that sweaty wang of America.
I love Florida, man.
Really?
I would own property in Florida in a heartbeat.
I mean, for the next 50 years until it becomes part of the greater Everglades.
You know, my eschatology on that. I'm like, I won't be here 50 years from now.
Yeah, but, well, I guess other conversation.
Yeah.
No Florida for me. Although I'd shout out Suds.
Florida is going to be a great place. Is going to be a great place. I like their taxes. I like their laws. I like the businesses that are down there. I would love to position myself literally in the exact middle of wherever EV Mux offices are and Rumble's offices are, just to say it's an equal drive to go either direction.
I mean, since we're hooked up to them, I get yes. But I'd still rather be in Texas than Florida.
Okay, then you do the Texas branch. I'll have you open studios in Texas. Should we get that big? Deal?
Okay, deal.
Because Illinois sucks. I think we both agree on that.
Sucks the bad way.
It would be amazing if we had the right political. It's a beautiful state. It's got the most incredible city. I think Chicago is the most gorgeous city on the planet.
I haven't been to enough. I've been to a few.
It's beautiful.
It's up there.
I just hate our government here.
Has its moments.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess we kind of did enough soul bearing for the day, but we are definitely going to be evolving at a very rapid pace, and you're catching me on a sick day and on a untechnically prepared. Heck, I'm going to have green screen installed once I go get those. As soon as I wrap this up, I'm going to go see if I can buy those bolts at, I don't know if Ace Hardware is still open right now. Probably not at 8 o'clock. But by tomorrow, the green screen will be up, so I'll have green screen options. We'll have... I'm saying green screen because that's how everybody refers to it. In my brain, because I'm talking to Brian, I'm like beating myself up that I'm not calling it chroma key. Yeah, even your dog's pissed I didn't call it chroma key. He's more technical than you are.
No, that's my butchy lady dog. She tries to make her scary bark when something scares her. She tries to make herself sound real tough.
Oh, yeah. Well,
well, I guess
I'm glad we got the audio bug figured out.
You got to get that other bug figured out. And,
yeah.
We'll reconnect soon.
All right. At least now I know that when I am listening on this channel, I am just getting a PFL on this. So this is just my hearing. I'm feeling good about this. It's getting closer and closer. Yeah, and what I need to do now, after we sign off, is I will go and I will document this audio flow.
Yes.
And the reason I document it, just so you know, this is a hint of what's to come in the next week. The reason I get so crazy about documenting these things that I do here in this, what I consider to be a laboratory, right? This is an experimental space for me. But when I figure that out and I document that signal path, there will be detailed instructions on how to replicate the things that we do that you will be able to purchase. That's coming, and it will be affordable. I'm not going to make that like, oh, and you spend $500 now, and I won't announce the price now, but that's coming in a week. We will have our first white paper out on a certain methodology, but there will be future white papers on hardware setup. There will be white papers on, and did we go into the discussion of, was it you and I last time you were here and I told you what a white paper was, or was that my son?
No, I think we talked about it.
Yeah.
But we also have to go back and find out how much of that audio was live, if any.
Oh.
And if it's possible to recover any of that nonsense.
I don't know if I did ISO record. I think I went broadcast only on EVMux, so I don't have the space on EVMux right now. I gotta up my space or delete a bunch of things that aren't mine. We got a few clients using this account.
What did you describe your space as? A lab?
It's a lab. It's a laboratory.
Okay, well, welcome to my magic shack.
Yeah.
I am a light magician. This is my staff over my shoulder.
No. I actually stole that terminology from Tarek Dozier. He called his computer room his laboratory. It was his computer lab. I'm like, that's very geeky, and I can adopt that phrase.
Okay.
So, yeah, this is my lab. And I believe I have a show that is called...
yeah, Seven Talents Lab.
Yeah, that's not the name of it.
That's not it?
I'm going to look it up. But I'm glad that Sophomore John was here to approve of our audio, of my audio. And, yeah, I got to document some things, and we'll talk again soon. Until then, until next week, hopefully next week is the first one that goes off without a hitch in this new configuration. And it'll be our last one that we do before we have to figure out whether or not we've got the funds to go to Orlando and pitch our bigger ideas in front of actual investors.
Okay. I'll just consider it an out-of-body experience for me.
Okay.
Well, drag my flesh
I'll have you run the stream from Illinois.
Aloha.
I'm going to be remote. I may need you here.
That works. That's why we do it.
Yeah. Heck, you want a house sit if I go to Florida on Seven Talents Days? I think my wife will still be here, but I mean, like, if it coincides with when we got to do it, what is the 10th and the 11th? Will we have a live stream? Well, I'll tell you what. Here's the fact. If I go to Orlando, I guarantee you I will be live streaming it. I will live stream our pitch if they don't live stream it, and I'll be surprised if they don't. Their sponsor is Rumble. Now, that doesn't mean that they plan to live stream everything. I will. if I end up going, I will live stream the entire thing that I can, and I will put every time I go down to live stream, Brian, this desk is your desk. Okay?
Cool.
And then we can test that, me remoting in. I may even figure out how to put up the IP bridge so that our remote unit goes directly to the bridge and comes into the A10. Okay?
Okay.
But that's if we get the funds. If we get the funds, I'll have that built out into the studio by end of week next week. It's still planning to do it. It's just that I'm not going to be doing it at such a rapid pace. I don't have the resources. I mean, so yeah, seed phase, right? We're in the seed funding phase of these ideas.
How exciting.
It's weird, man. So, all right. Well, thank you to all three of you who are on Rumble. But we had I think up to 7 people at one point watching, and I don't know where you are watching from. I hope it's on Rumble. But if you caught us on YouTube, you caught us on X, great. I'm going to advise you to, after you like or subscribe to us on YouTube, please jump over to Rumble. If you don't have an account, sign up for an account. Get off of the junk. X isn't junk, but Rumble is really going to be the only real replacement for YouTube in the future. And the future is yours. You know, the past was theirs, but the future is yours. And if you can get onto these platforms that are actually going to take care of the creators by paying them out properly and legitimately, which, by the way, you get 100%. You get monetized day one on Rumble. If you're struggling on YouTube, you need to start building on Rumble. You're building on the wrong platform. You still use YouTube as a marketing channel for your Rumble channel. That's the way you need to think of it from here forward. X is a communication platform for your Rumble channel because Rumble will pay you at the end of the day. X will pay you. YouTube might pay you. They might deplatform you. So that's my advice. If you're watching us on anything other than Rumble right now, go on over to Rumble right now. Find us, subscribe. It's 7 Talents. I don't know if I have the link I can put up right now. Go look for us. We're worth finding. Brian, any final words before I wrap this up? You got anything? No?
I think I've actually reached my Steam today.
Yeah, cool. Well, I started with mine empty, so maybe I'll keep live streaming on another channel. We'll see. So thank you for joining us. I'm Brian. That's Christian, or the vice versa. That's Christian. I'm Brian. Which one is it? I have to bring up the lower thirds to even know myself. I got it wrong. That's BPG. I'm Christian Sass, producer, founder of 7 Talents. He's got all the good swag. I've got all the good mics. I'm going to have to order new hats. But thank you for taking whatever time out of your day that you took to watch this. We'll run this thing for clips. So any of the good stuff we'll salvage.
I can't wait to see myself on LinkedIn. Finally be official on LinkedIn.
That'll be awesome. All right. I love all of you. Take care. We're going to be here for you and your content. And, well, stay safe out there, guys.